Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
Another day, another update on G4TV.
Tea is flowing.
The tea is flowing, yes. G4 should be G4T, T-E-A-V.
Okay, that was dumb.
It's very dumb. And anyway, let's talk about this. I got an article on clownshishtv.com from Jake James, who watched this video with this guy who worked for G4 and is not real happy. He's not real happy with the situation. There's some more tea being spilled, so we're going to talk about that. Again, this is kind of an update. If you haven't been following the G4TV drama, my God, I don't even know where to begin.
You should just watch more Clownfish T-E-A-V videos.
You should. T-E-A-V. Yay. All right. So, yeah, hey, even with the bad dad jokes, more people are watching us and watch G4TV, which is why they shut down.
Maybe not now. I'm sorry.
Maybe not now. Oh my God, we're going to have to shut down. We have to close down the 60,000 square foot house studio we bought, and no, we didn't.
It's like, how big is this room?
Yeah, right. Anyway, let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 277,000 subs. Go out to clownshishtv.com. I don't think people realize we have articles out there by people that are not us about things that we don't talk about on the channel.
Oh yeah, we talk about a lot more out there. You're like, why didn't you cover this? It's like, we probably did.
It's probably an article. Yeah, some things that we think will stick on YouTube, and some things actually, and it's no offense, it's just not our area of expertise, but we have other people cover that stuff for us. So make sure you go out to clownshishtv.com. So yeah, let's talk about this. Former classic G4TV technical director comments on the closing. Our past needed to be fixed. That was one thing they were like, going forward, it's not gonna be your dad's G4TV.
Yeah, it's not your dad's G4TV, but here's the same people that were on your dad's G4TV.
In the wake of the shutdown, many have taken to social media to express their views on how Comcast handled the doomed brand. Chris Flynn is a former G4TV technical director who worked at the network from 2006 to 2012, so back during its heyday, up to when the network was canceled. He oversaw many of the technical elements of the shows being aired at the time, including effects and camera shots for Attack of the Show and more. So he probably got a good look at Olivia Munn's bangable body. Apparently. Chris also worked for various productions at different studios in Hollywood before and after the original G4TV was live on air. Like many alumni from the original version of the network, Chris had many opinions and thoughts to share about the new G4 shutting down, including insight into the information he learned as things went south. So he had people coming to him.
Okay.
I felt they came back with a hollowed out version of Attack of the Show. I had advanced knowledge through inside sources 6 weeks ahead of time that what they were doing, what the plan was. They said, sitting down for an interview. He talked to this channel's VG times 7, I guess. That's. Anyway, Chris details that his source, who was rehired by G4TV, informed him that the ones in charge of the network had no intention of bringing back the older shows that were popular from classic G4, because it's not your dad's. It's not your dad's G4. We're just going to bring in Adam Sessler, but it's not your dad's G4. Everything was going to focus on what was new, including a big connection to esports. Now,
which would have worked because esports is huge.
It is. Now,
right.
Side note, speaking of esports and bangable Olivia Munn was dating the CEO of G4TV at some point.
At some point before it was re-listed. But then people said that she got paid a whole bunch of money to come back and never showed up and still got paid.
He found her bangable.
Apparently.
That's why she didn't have to pay the money back. Anyway, just getting that in there. Everything was going to focus on what was new, right? We got that. He goes on to note toward the later part of the interview, and I'll put a link to this article. You can go out and watch the video there. That the campaign G4 Needs Talent was also a complete mess, where most of the talent added to the network were already decided well in advance.
Wait, so they put it out there like you could apply, but
yes,
it didn't matter. They weren't going to hire you.
According to Chris's sources, the network was very scattered and didn't even figure out or have a crew as close to around 2 weeks prior to the relaunch. Many people didn't know how to approach making things work. Stories coming out of the network were very bad, according to what Chris was being told by his sources. Some executives on shows and other people running wild, not doing much for nearly the whole time frame of the Summer Beach House. So they had no plan. I mean, this just confirms that they had no plan. And I can totally see this happening. I've had this happen. I've worked for companies. I got gone from the company or left the company, and I would still have employees at the company come to me and be like, my God, things have gotten so bad, you know?
I'm sorry. I'm listening to you, but I can't. I'm distracted by Adam Sessler's nipples.
What? Wait, what? Whoa.
He's probably thinking about himself.
Thinking about Olivia Munn.
I mean,
So
you can't miss it. They're just like right there. Look, you cannot miss that. It's right.
So you're sitting here giggling because you're like, honey, I am trying to listen to what you're saying, but all I can think about are Adam Sessler's nipples.
All I can see are my face, and all I can think of
All I can see is Henry Cavill's
and
face.
he's probably thinking about himself, and that's why they're pointy.
You had people who were supposedly running things and building the company, and yet when the director would come in, they'd be like, "Thank God you're here." These were the people who were the showrunners. Things got crazy enough that conflict between staff caused a lot of tension, with the shock of working on a real production schedule. Trying to maintain order within the production caused some people to leave. Oh my God, we actually have to treat this like a real job. Well, even the boss wasn't, because apparently, according to the video yesterday, he built himself an Emperor Palpatine throne room.
Yeah.
And never showed up.
And they
to work.
couldn't even put it on air because they get sued by Disney.
One of the big issues Chris notes from the new content produced for G4 was the rotation of the host and lackluster gags. Instead of having personalities tied to specific shows, newer content would cycle the pool,
not cesspool. I was confused for a moment there.
I thought it was just circle the toilet, circle the drain, and underutilize them. Some of the hosts would linger in the background during segments, looking bored.
Like, did half the people here?
Like half the people here, rather than allowing them to connect with the audience on the shows they were featured on. In the interview, Chris also goes on to discuss the differences in the talent between some of the newer hosts and the older hosts. He notes many of the things that worked for the new hosts coming in from Twitch backgrounds didn't work for the audience watching, where some of the same kinds of gags would be rinsed and repeated and they didn't always work. Well, here's the thing. They fundamentally did not understand where gamers were current year. And they didn't understand, the people that were on Twitch or YouTube or whatever probably connected better with their audience. Whereas you've got Sessler, who hadn't done anything connecting with a live audience in God knows how long, and Frosk, who shouldn't be connecting with a live audience ever. It just screams, the whole thing screams of, hey there, fellow kids, hey there, fellow kids, we're bringing back, it's like you got on one hand, it's like, hey, we're going to try to be all hip with the esports and the Twitch and maybe we'll do some TikTok too while we're at it. And then the other hand, it's like, hey, but it's G4. You remember G4, don't you, Dad? Yeah, you used to watch it when you were in your 20s. Adam Sessler's back. His nipples are hard. He's waiting for you.
They'll let your kids watch it, but it's for them, not you. But the same people.
Speaking on the layoffs, Chris expressed sympathy for those getting laid off most recently, with some people not even receiving severance pay. Well,
that's shit.
Unfortunately, normal for a lot of companies. I know. The first group that got laid off got 4 to 6 months severance, and they ran out of money. Apparently, this group didn't get any severance, and some were trying to figure out how to get their personal belongings back because they couldn't get back into the studio. Oh my God! This kind of happened at DC too. They told people to get the crap off their desk and remove
They didn't even let them take their stuff.
Apparently not.
Oh, was that when the one place that they were down for a couple weeks? They said they weren't having content. Was that then? And then Slack wasn't down. And everything else.
Yeah.
And now they're not back.
They just got
their
locked
stuff.
out. Yeah.
Oh, that's not cool. I'd be calling the cops and being like, I need to get my stuff, and they've locked me out.
So one of the more interesting bits to come from the interview was Chris's thoughts on how things transpired with controversial host Foreskin Black in her speech to the audience. I understand you're all going to do whatever you want. You're new to G4, and I respect that. Just don't screw with our legacy. Once you had Frosk telling everyone to go to hell, now you're messing with our legacy. You're taking all that love and nostalgia that people had for us, and now they were questioning it. Well, they flat out said, we don't want classic G4. She said, we were told that this wasn't your dad's G4.
This is your mom's G4.
It's your mom's G4, and she doesn't want to bang Olivia Munn. She could have me. Yeah, so anyway, it's pretty interesting stuff. We're going to see a lot of this. I think we're going to see a lot of this come out in the coming weeks and months, especially as the NDAs expire, or people get really pissed off because they can't get their shit out of the studio, or they just have an axe to grind, they can't find another job. I think we're going to get a better picture of just how much of a failure this thing was. And it's probably far, far worse than anybody realizes.
I'm sure.
For Comcast to just pull the plug like that, it had to have been a colossal.
Well, locking people out not to get their stuff is ridiculous. But for full disclosure, I too am not as bangable as Olivia Munn.
I think you are.
But not many people are. So.
I'm not as bangable as Henry Cavill, so.
Oh, I think you are.
Anyway, we're going to wrap this up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.